Okay, so today is June 27th. I'm gonna go out and check and see if we've got any honey ready. I don't know what to expect. I really don't. I've been gone so much. I know I've said that before, but I haven't been really able to be on top of what's going on out there. I'm sure I have some honey that's ready. Even if it's not capped, I'll use my refractometer and we'll check the water content of it. And so if it's 18 or below, we'll keep it. We'll spin it. So anyway, I'm going to just take these supers here and put whatever I can take in these supers and bring them back. This is my fume board. I'm sure most of you beekeepers know what this is, but for those new people, what you do is you spray. I'll show you. It's called, there's different products out there. I use a product called Bandit. Right here. Honey Bandit. Right? Honey Bandit. There it is. Anyway, what you do is you spray it. You spray it onto this board here that has felt in it. And it's all natural. And the bees, they don't like it at all. So it forces them down into the hive. Then you can pull the whole super off if you want, or pull frames out. So again, I'm going to get at this here in just a little bit. And it's 93 out today. I've been kind of postponing it because I don't want to sweat to death. But that's the way it is here in Oklahoma. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this and get my stuff together and get out there. All right, so I pulled that first box off. This is the very first hive I'm getting into, and that one's empty. You can see all the bees here. There's a lot of bees in there, but man, I don't know. This hive here, let me see what I got on the lid. This hive here, yeah, this one was the one that swarmed on me. This one swarmed on me. I always notate on the top what I got going because I forget all the time. Anyway, this one swarmed, and so it had a new queen May 14th, so it had to build back up. You know, they did well, but again, here in northeast Oklahoma, we had a very rainy spring, so it was tough on them. And because of that, and because I wasn't home to really manage these bees properly, we'll just have to see. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use this fume board over here. And I'll show you. It takes a few minutes. But what you do is you take your spray. By the way, I think my tripod just came in, so hopefully my next videos will be set up so you can see this better. But anyway, you just take and you spray that on there. And this is all natural oils and that, but the bees do not like it. Doesn't hurt them at all. So I put it on pretty generously. And then we'll I took a big inhale of that stuff. Yikes. And then what we do is we just put it right on the top. Put it right on the top there. And these bees, it will force them down. You can hear them already. I'm sure you can hear that. So they don't like that stuff at all. It'll force them down in there. So we wait a few minutes. Wait just a few minutes and they'll all end up in that bottom box. You see we got that queen excluder on there. You see that metal piece? That's a queen excluder, and for the newer people, that's so the queen can't get up into this top box, which is where you keep your honey. The super, they call it a super. So we'll wait and we'll let that take its do what it's supposed to do, pushing those bees down in there, and then we'll take a look and see how much honey's in this thing. Okay, so I put the camera on my four-wheeler. You can see, if you can see the front of that box, the bees are starting to come out. So we'll give them just a few more minutes here, and then I'll check and see what we got in there. Put my gloves on. Obviously, we're agitating them now. They definitely don't like that smell. So they give you bee gloves so you don't get stung, so you might as well use them, right? Alright, let's see how this looks. Alright, they're down in there. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of honey in this thing. But I am going to take whatever I can get out of it. So let's just see what we've got. Yeah. See, now this has got some old brood on it. Because what I did is I put this queen excluder on. I had a medium as a brood chamber, and I know there's a lot of guys that run that way, but to be honest with you, it makes it harder when you want to switch frames around, because most of your brood boxes are deep like this. So there's actually some brood left in this hive on the top, which hasn't hatched yet. So that's why that brood was on there. Now so this frame is full of nectar. Hopefully we'll be able to get this in there. But you can see how shiny it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this frame because it may be ready to harvest. And I won't know that till I use my refractometer on it. But you can also dry this honey. It takes a little while, but you can put a fan on it and dry it out to get your water content at 18 or less. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one. And let's see what else. To be quite honest with you, I'm surprised. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay, this one. This one also feels like, oh yeah, this one has a lot of nectar in it. So here's the deal. As you get later in the season, a lot of times these bees are not going to take the time to cap this honey. They're not going to take, the energy to do that, because they can, as this dries, they can eat it at any point. And so they'll get busy doing other things, and they may not cap this until near the end of the season, August, maybe even into September. So that doesn't mean we can't take this. All it means is we've got to wait for it to dry out for the water content to be where we need it to be. Again, that's 18 or below. Otherwise, it can ferment, and then it ruins it. But I'm pretty happy right now, because I didn't really think. Again, this is the hive that swarmed. When they swarm, they'll take about half of the resources, half the bees and half the resources. So we're going to keep that one too. I'm just putting these into an empty box, and I can show you that when we get done going through this thing. Okay, now I can tell this one doesn't have much in it at all. It's a little bit. So I'm going to leave that one in there. Let me get on this other side, because I know I'm right in the way. Let's take a look at this one. This one I can tell. Now this one is getting there too. You know, and if they don't eat it, here's the other thing, is if you leave them on during the dearth period, which, you know, it changes every year depending on the plants, but typically you're talking sometime in July through September. You know, once you get into September, you'll get the goldenrod. It'll start blooming, and they'll start hitting the goldenrod. This one here, I mean, I think I'm going to go ahead and take this one too. It's just about full. It is just about full on both sides. One thing they tell you can do if you shake it, you see how, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but stuff's coming out. That means it's not ready. Let's leave that one. This one again had the brood on it from last time. We're gonna leave that so that brood will hatch out. See what we got here. Now this one's heavy, so that means that they've started capping this one. And can you see when I'm shaking it, there's nothing coming out of this one? Maybe just a hair. That's okay. We're gonna take this one because this one's probably just about there. And again, we can dry this out. We can dry this stuff out, so I don't like doing it that way. You know, it takes time to get it to dry. But I think in a situation that I have now, there's nothing in that one and probably nothing in this one. No, you can tell by their weight too. So what did we get? We got 3 frames of honey out of that. I mean, that's pretty good for a hive that swarmed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this back on for now, and we'll come back and replace those. Let me do this real quick. There's some bees in the middle here. Let's just see what they're working. I mean, I could tell it's light, so there's a little bit in here. Yeah, there's a little bit in here. You know, we still have, it's not a good flow, but the clover is still blooming, so you know you still have somewhat of a flow going on. All right, so I'm just gonna put the lid back on. When we get done spinning those 3 frames, I'll bring them back and put them in here. It's not going to be that long, so you don't really have to worry about the bees building up comb in that empty space. First off, we're getting to a point, we're at the end of June, it's the 27th today. They're not going to be building much comb right now anyway. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this fume board down to the next hive. I'm going to pause the video real quick. We'll just pause it. We're going to go down to that one that has the pink. You remember the one right next to it? This one right here is a flow hive. I opened it up to look to see what was going on. I really don't know. I'll bet you money this one of these boxes, probably the top one, probably has a bunch of honey in it. Now you can see there's a few bees in there. But this, again, in a normal year, and this hive has done well, so I know there's plenty of bees, and you can kind of see them walking around in there. In a normal year, every one of these frames would be full of full of honey, and they're not. And I know this hive had plenty of bees, so it's just one of those things. One of those things, you never know. It all depends. You know, it's kind of like farming. If you don't get enough water on the crops, right, they don't grow. If you get too much, they don't grow. Beekeeping's a little bit like that. So we're gonna hit this one right now. You can see this one here. If you look, that is a queen excluder. That means this is our super. It's called a medium, and these are our 2 deep boxes. This is where the brood is going to be. So all we're going to do is look inside this one. So I'll be back. I'm going to pause it, get my stuff over here, and then we'll look at this one. Okay, well, sorry. It's really too hard to try to do this one-handed. But a very disappointing year. I kind of thought that was going to happen. Again, between the weather and me not being here. I think I got pretty much just 1 super out of the whole. I went into the season with, I think, 5 hives. And, you know, I caught some bees. That's what those are. I did some splits. Some of these were early splits. And this hive here, actually, which was very interesting, this was an early split. This gave me probably 5 frames of honey out of this 8-frame box. And so that's pretty interesting. This is the hive I just got from my buddy about maybe not even a month ago now. And it didn't have any supers with it. So they have a little bit of honey in there, not much at all. I'm just going to leave it. You know, I kind of figured this season, once I was told how much rain we got through the spring, that it was going to be slim pickings anyway. So that's what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, I'll go show you. I was hoping to maybe show you as I was going through this stuff, and most of the stuff is not capped. So when I do the refractometer, I'll show you guys how that works. But so what you do, or what I do anyway, as soon as I pull frames, if I have a whole box, and you can tell as soon as you lift them, you know, is this thing full or not? But if I have a full box, I'll just take the whole box off, you know, and usually I put it in the back of this wagon. You want to cover them because, you know, we're getting into that time of robbing, beginning of July. And listen, these bees, they will really start robbing if you don't cover them. So let me pull this cover off. This is all I got this year. And so that's 7 frames. I think a medium frame weighs about 6 pounds or so. And so I'll show you real quick. I mean, you can look and see all the shiny. I mean, that's all nectar. So this frame is full of nectar. It's not capped. They started just barely capping it. You can see, you know, they were capping. And that too is a good indication that, listen, this honey is probably where it needs to be. You know, I always check it because I don't want to, especially if I'm going to sell honey. And this year I don't think I'll be selling probably anything. But you can see how much of that frame is capped. That beautiful honey. Let me come out here in the sun. You can see it a little bit better. We're in the shade right now. There we go. Anyway, you can see this one's almost fully capped. Now we will, you know, Lord willing. Now you can see, you know, how much of that. And so that is all nectar. That's honey. It just hasn't been capped yet on the end there. So this frame here, I guarantee you weighs at least 6 pounds. So anyway, there we are. We have 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 frames of honey, you know, so at about 6 pounds. 6 times 8 is 48. That's my Chicago public school training there for all y'all. Anyway, that's all we got. Again, I knew we weren't going to get much. I thought we'd get a little more than this. But this year, it's been a struggle. Some of the hives went queenless, you know, and when you're not on top of it, you know, you don't have the amount of bees you need. And I had 1 that swarmed and possibly 2. When I checked 1, I mean, there was honey in that one. It was totally empty. They had robbed it totally out. frustrating, but when you're not on top of it, when you're not home to be on top of it, you don't catch stuff. And beekeeping is being proactive, catching the things before they become a problem, because once they become a problem, a lot of times it's too late. Anyway, that's all I have. I'm going to take that super that's on the end. You can see I have my fume board on it because I'm going to condense that down. There's no reason to have two supers on there. There's hardly any bees even up in the top. So we'll take that one off. When the goldenrod comes in, and you know what, they're still bringing some stuff in, no doubt. Not a lot, but the clover's still blooming, so some things will come in. But I'm going to take that one off. When the goldenrod hits, you know, we'll see what kind of situation, you know, how well the goldenrod comes in this year. But they can bring more in. This flow hive, I didn't get down into the bottom boxes, and I need to do that. Who knows? Maybe one of them's full of honey. I don't know. But we'll check that out. So, yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate everybody. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. That'd be great. Hit the like and the bell. That would be swell. All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.